What's going on, workforce? Brian here, and today we actually are having a community outreach session. Destiny 2 PC launch came out this week, and I kind of just did a little blurb of it on a video just yesterday. And so one of the workforce actually got PC banned, and they've agreed to come on this essentially video slash mini podcast, and we're gonna have a conversation about the Destiny 2 PC ban, what what Bungie has said. And kind of get Adam's side of the story, which I'll introduce Adam here just in a second. From there, we're going to just talk about a wide range of things as it relates to the ban. And so we'd love to know your comments and your feedback in the comments below. If you've been banned and you have a similar story, love to hear it. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and bring it in Adam, and we're going to, I guess, get to know him a little bit better, and we're going to learn more about why he got banned and kind of, have a conversation about it. So, all right, Adam,
Hello.
welcome. There we go. Welcome to Work to Game. You said that you've discovered us because of obviously this topic, and it, to me, I guess just to intro just this topic in and of itself is that at first I was like, that's odd. Like all I saw on not even Twitch, not even YouTube, it was on Twitter that Bungie said, they tweeted out, there's a statement, there's a blog post we're going to make and it's incoming. And I'm like, what is that? It was just so like, okay, why is that popping up? And then obviously that's in response to, I guess, a lot of outrage, concern, misinformation and things like that. And eventually they actually did release their security note, which I kind of talked about in yesterday's video. But let's kind of take a step back.
Yeah,
and let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about you in this regard. So from a Destiny 2 player base, so you obviously are playing on PC, and spoiler alert, you've been banned. We'll find out more about that here in a second. But did you play on Xbox or PlayStation before the PC version, or were you just sitting back waiting for the PC release for Destiny 2?
Actually, the only reason I got into my interest for Destiny, I never played it on Xbox or PlayStation. A lot
Even
of my
the
buddies,
original?
no, not even the original.
Okay, so Destiny 2 is your first introduction to the series. Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Bungie though. I played Halo and all that stuff. But I have a couple buddies that I play with regularly. It's kind of my escape. I don't live near anybody. I live in rural Kentucky. So they were all stoked and excited to get Destiny 2, and I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And got to play like an hour of the beta, and I thought it was really cool. And I threw my pre-order down, and it's like, and we all did a countdown. We were ready to go. I got a babysitter. I took off work. I was
smart.
The girlfriend was gone.
That's exactly how you do it. You get the babysitter. You schedule time off work. Okay, so the hype was real. You were building up, and this is your first. So you said you played the beta. No problems with the beta at all on PC?
No, I did. Once my friends were talking about it a lot. I was working late night shifts, so I didn't get to play that often. But I caught a couple days off, and they were talking about it. It was right at the close of the beta, so I got to play for like the last 2 hours of it. But we played several matches. I thought it was a blast. They started explaining how the game works and concept and everything, and I've heard about it before. I just never really showed much interest because I don't have a console.
Right.
So I was like, well, maybe one day. But
are you a member of the PC Master Race?
Now I am. But I'll tell you what, if I had to speak honestly, I've owned every single one of the newer systems, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U. I had the most fun on Wii U, to tell you the truth.
That's impressive. Actually, like even in the video that you kind of got introduced to me was literally that, like, I'm like, I don't even like the Wii. I did not, I didn't pick up the Wii U, but
I didn't like the Wii either.
Man, hold on, man. We'll have another conversation another day just about Nintendo. Because I'm opinionated about them. I'm loving the Switch though. I downloaded and got Mario Odyssey ready to unlock tonight at midnight. Anyway, all right. Apologies, bad host. Okay, so
No
you're
problem.
going for you do the countdown and you start playing Destiny 2. Walk us through like how soon were you banned? What happened? What kind of notification, what kind of communication was provided to you during that time? And let's go from there. Obviously, we want to also look at the other side of it. Why, what Bungie's saying, and we'll ask some of those questions here in a minute. And then, of course, my phone's ringing, which I thought was on silent. Again, bad host. Guys, I'm new at this. Whatever. Okay, so if you caught most of that, break it down for me.
Okay, so me and my buddies, we were setting everything up. Buddies took off work. We took off work, like I said before. I had the game preloaded on my computer. We were just waiting for it to drop. I sat here I honestly thought it was going to start about 2 a.m., but I read it wrong. It's 2 p.m. Eastern time. So I sat here from 2 a.m. all the way to 1 p.m. Sorry.
Yeah.
So once it started at 1 p.m., I pressed play and everything was fine. I was running through, it has like the tutorial missions. I was running through that, and I got through the first missions. Everything was great. I was loving it. I had my settings set right for it, like the brightness, all that stuff. And then once it came into it, I got to a point where you have to check these things. You can grab emotes, you can grab items before you go on like your first mission. And I did the mission, and that's where they basically teach you how to do your special, your F, or I don't even know what it's called, but your special,
which super ultimate, like there's any kind of, it's you're harnessing the power of light.
Exactly. So, that's exactly it. So once you finish that and you do that quick mission and you come back, you're back in the main area. Now you can start seeing other players. So now I'm seeing a couple players. I tried to say hi to them. Nobody said anything. I don't think they had their mics installed or something. And then I was like, okay, what do I do now? I thought I was doing a mission, but I apparently went to like the Crucible.
Okay. Yeah.
So I played a Crucible, and stupid me got rid of all my guns. I'm sitting there playing it with 2 pistols. And I'm like, I have to run this whole thing with a pistol. This is ridiculous.
No, excuse me. Sorry.
Exactly. I got destroyed. That was the funniest part about it. I got destroyed, and I maybe got like 4 kills. And these kids are flying around the map 400 miles per hour. And then all of a sudden the game ends. It says you won, and right where you would like get your XP or whatever, it just blacks out. And then so this is a total time span. This is about an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours into the game. Okay,
so this is around, so you said 1 p.m. Eastern. So this is around 2 or 3 p.m. on Tuesday. 2:30. Okay, so around 2:30 on Tuesday, launch day. Okay, got it.
So basically, at that point in time, it closed me out, and I opened it back up, and it said, "Not so fast. Your account's been banned." And I was like, what? And
now is that from the Bungie launcher, from the Battle.net launcher, that it says that?
No, it's not from Battle.net at all. It's from Bungie themselves internally.
So when you're at the login screen, you got the white and it's all the symbols and everything like that, and it's like, oh, and it's telling you at that point that you've been banned. You had the Banhammer drop on you.
Yeah, basically what happens is like you'll go to like when you first start it up, it'll say press enter to start to log in. And then it has this ridiculously loud sound, and then you go in and it goes not so fast, and it keeps kicking you back out, and you can't get past the open screen.
And is that still actually going on right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been banned. It tells you that you've been banned. You don't know yet why. So this is just news. Are you communicating with your friends over Discord or something of that nature?
TeamSpeak at the time.
TeamSpeak. Okay.
They were blown away. They're like,
and they're working just fine.
Yeah. They're running all the same software. They even got a couple other programs that would make sense. I've seen a couple of them, like when they played games like the older Battle or Borderlands and stuff.
Yeah.
They used Cheat Engine.
Okay. They've used it. Have you ever used that in the past?
I've used it back then for games that are offline.
Okay.
And it was too complicated for me. I tried it. I didn't understand it. They're like, we got to get you to Borderlands because you're just going to get wrecked and we're going to have to pick you up every time. I'm like, dude, if you can come do it, I don't care. But I haven't used it. It's not even on my computer.
So it's not on your computer as of this. So it's been in the past and then not now. Okay.
In the past, yeah.
Gotcha.
I've been running games. I've been playing since I was 6 years old. Not online, obviously, but I started out playing online.
You traveled into the future, brought the internet back to you as a child. Man, you've literally got superpowers. Okay, so at
But
this point in time now,
okay.
sorry, just to jump in though.
No, you're fine.
So your friends are astonished. What has any other kind of form of communication from Bungie come to you?
Actually, it took over 24 hours for Bungie to even say anything about, and I'm talking about, I didn't get a message in my email about why I got banned. I didn't get anything. It just said
Can
banned.
you actually log into Bungie.net on the forums itself? Like, I'm just curious. Have you gone and contacted them and contacted their support?
I have several, and if you want to see my name on there as SGT45, I have several posts in there.
Okay.
I've posted on other people's stuff. I posted on my own stuff, and I've asked and talked to, and all they do is give us this blanket copy paste statement about how Bungie their decisions for ban is basically done and over with. They don't discuss it. They don't overturn it. That's what was originally happening back when this first happened, because I thought it was a joke. I thought maybe because people were having a lot of errors, I thought maybe this was just
an error, just a launch day error. I mean, it technically could be, and because let me dive into what Bungie has said at this point. So they did this post, Destiny 2 security. We've seen a lot of questions about bans being issued on the PC version of Destiny 2. To provide some information, we would like to share some facts. The following is true. Destiny 2 cannot automatically ban you. Only Bungie can ban a player after a manual investigation. Yesterday, they banned approximately 400 players on the PC. Bans were applied to players who were using tools that pose a threat to the shared ecosystem of the game. We did not and will not issue any bans for those use of overlay or performance tools, including Discord, XSplit, OBS, RTSS, etc. Information on using third-party applications can be found here at this link. We are overturning 4 of the bans that were issued during the PC beta. We are committed to providing an experience that is fun and fair to millions of players who have joined this community. And so with that being said, though, it's like it appears that we are getting some overturns. So there should be hope in that regards. You messaged, you put up, nothing's in your email, no official response to you individually yet. Have you called and physically got a hold of somebody on a support perspective?
Oh, I've ran through so many different chains that I've tried to explore every option physically and humanly possible. I've went on their Twitter, I've went through the forum, I've tried to call phone numbers that were even sketchy. This is fun sport.
You want me to unban your account? Call my number, give me social security card, and I make it good.
He literally asked me what my birthday and my email and stuff was, and he goes, "Oh, it's unbanned. It's unbanned." I go back, "Oh, you're full of it, man." But I went through that. I also went to the forums a lot. I went, like I said, I went to the Twitter, and I got stuff all over that too.
How much time have you spent in this investigation on why you got banned?
Oh gosh, probably about 16 hours.
Wow. So 2.5 hours of playtime and 16 hours of work, man. That sucks.
I've even emailed the CEO.
Okay.
I shot him an email. Still waiting on that. I did that yesterday. It was a long, lengthy one. It's not so much. The thing is if this was a situation to where I was cheating, I would not try this hard to. It'd be dumb on my part, to expose yourself that way to people. But I believe to
come on a semi podcast and show your face, be like, hey, you want to meet one of the Destiny 2 cheaters? Here's what he looks like, and he's in Kentucky. Go.
But the thing is I legitimately was just playing the game. I've admitted that's the most I've done. I've never cheated on any multiplayer platform. I think it ruins the game. It's done it to CS:GO. Gosh, it's terrible now. The most I've done is, like I said before, and I looked into the rules on GTA 5 for modding that, which was a nightmare, and I never do that again. But I did that in the private lobby, just like with Minecraft, modding Minecraft, which all the stuff that I did was stuff that you had to learn through YouTube, and several hours of doing this. This is not something I could have done in the first 2 hours of playing Destiny. Like a game I'm not familiar with, a platform. It was a whole system I have no clue
Yeah.
about. I'm not tech savvy by any means.
So you guys were using, TeamSpeak, and so we have the information regarding the third-party applications that can be used. TeamSpeak? What other applications or anything that could have been run that were running at the time of this encounter?
The only things that I had running at the time was I had TeamSpeak, I had Overwolf, which is a TeamSpeak thing, and actually they've commented on the Twitter as well, saying that their program had nothing to do with it either. Um, I've had GeForce Experience, which came with my my graphics card.
That's actually recommended as a part of their streaming experience, because one of the things when I first saw this, I was surprised, and then like on reflection, literally ended up being that, wait a minute, they were talking about, like, they were really concerned with overlays, they were really concerned with this, they recommend running in windowed mode, while using OBS and XSplit, because of how things inject code and how they could be used for cheating, etc. And so voice communications, who's talking, visual notifications, all that. So it's that these were, I was like, on my reflection of it was that, oh man, we should have seen this coming in that regards. So any kind of like hardware modifications, like does your system run or things of that nature?
I don't even know what hardware modifications would be.
Well, so like something that does like frame rate feedback to you, something like EVGA's, Precision XOC, MSI, Afterburner, Fraps.
That's
These.
kind of like what Overwolf was.
Okay.
But Overwolf only worked. The only game I've ever seen it work for actually showing me the FPS was in CS:GO.
Okay.
And for the longest time, I still didn't know how to turn it off. I just deleted it. I was like, it's not doing me much any good, especially when my buddy told me there's an FPS counter built into CS:GO. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's actually an FPS counter in Destiny 2 on the PC.
No clue about that either.
Right, I'm just saying, like, it's that my kind of thing. So you do you have Overwolf running?
No, I don't have it no more. It's really the only thing I got rid of because it really wasn't doing anything for me. But I figured maybe that might have been something that was going on. Like at this point, I'm sitting there looking at what programs I have, and I got a whole list of them. And I was sitting there looking through them, and I'm like, nothing looks out of place on here, I didn't know how to turn it off, so I deleted it. I turned off all my other overlays just so that way if I bought in, like, if maybe they did unban me, I wouldn't have to run. I'm scared at this point. I'm like, if they unban me and I go back into this and I get banned again because I got the same overlay or something like that, they haven't told us anything what's causing it. They've been very vague. They've done blanket statements, and the biggest thing that irritated me, they called us liars. Off the
Right.
get-go, and that was a shot to the heart because it's like,
Well, it can't, like, and so there's I've never been banned from any game, at least up at this point. But I know that sometimes, like, I do a lot of Final Fantasy, and that's another online game. Like, this is something that's, obviously important to online games. Anybody who especially, like, remembers, like, at least is in my age category with the game Genie on SNES and things like that nature, there's always kind of been that from a single player game. You're not really hurting anybody. But in an online game, there's that communal aspect. We have to, we try to balance and keep it fair. And and so in this case, like, 400 bans were issued. You were obviously one of those 400. 399 of those people could have been cheating, and it still sucks because you're got that label on you now. And I think that, at least for me as let's go worst case scenario and say you were cheating, and this is a very massive elaborate ruse to. Did you buy the full DLC pack?
Oh
$100?
yeah, I bought
so
the
this
$96
this is 16 hours to try to recover $100 of money spent. It's like that. That does seem a little bit odd. What gosh, like, I just wish I had it in at Bungie just to say, like, hey, what was the reasoning? What did y'all's system detect in your case to either say, hey, can we inform and say, like, okay, that's don't do this, and that way there's an answer of why, or or something. Because I think right now, for me, like, whether you did or did not cheat, whether your ban is legitimate or illegitimate, the question as to why. And
Why
so
is it exactly?
why, like, why was, and they say like, okay, here are the guidelines. So, and I guess like when you look at it, it depends on how many people are playing. If 500 people bought the PC game, then we got a huge problem. But if it, over a million, then it's like a small percentage happened, and that's where I guess all it boils down to is the why. Why did this happen?
And the thing is like, I know I'm going back here, but the biggest, and this is why it was such a shock to me.
Hmm.
Like I said, I play CS:GO. I'm a Nova 4, or not any. I'm sorry, I'm not Nova 4. I'm a Silver 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not amazing by any means, nor do I try to push off anything. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've been playing that for about 3 years, never got a ban. I've been on BattleNet through Overwatch and
Hmm.
Hearthstone and WoW, and I've been playing those for years, never got a ban. Before that, I played COD through console. For years, I streamed it. I streamed CS:GO,
Hmm.
never been banned, never even been questioned in the matter. That's why this hit
Fascinating.
hard for me. And like you said, for the private
Yeah.
party games, the private games, modding and stuff like that for your own private party, that I don't think that should be held against you and labeling you as a cheater.
Right.
Especially if you've bought a game, like that Borderlands, you buy a game and you played it on Xbox, you beat the game and stuff like that, and you just want to do stuff. Everything I play with my friends.
Hmm.
I don't care about competitive stuff. I don't care about being the best or none of that. I just want to play with my friends.
Right. That's the thing about
That's it.
gaming. That's one of the great things about how it brings us all together. And the fact is that you can play with your friends from home, in which that, yeah, like most of my friends. You said you were in the military?
Yes.
Oh, what branch?
I was in the Army back in 2006, and I got out in 2010 to a medical discharge. And I
Oh,
was in Iraq in 2007.
well, thank you for your service on that note.
No problem. Thank you.
No, it's important. I don't know if it plays to your character. Because again, I just met you, but what I do,
Absolutely.
and I do feel, and that's kind of where this, where I guess there's an underlying theme with the game and with this conversation. One of the reasons why I'm happy you reached out is that, is the Bungie, and I don't know if you can answer this, but is Bungie's house on fire and they don't even know it? A lot of the things that, like, at least for me, my perspective, and again, this is, maybe a little bit unfair to you, but my perspective, what I see is that I see people going, man, I hate Destiny 2. And then I'm pouring in 100 hours a week into it. Like, I hate
Yeah.
this game. It's like, okay, like, you hate this game, but you can't get yourself away. Is it that you hate this game because you can't pull yourself away? Like, I just can't, quit Destiny? Because I'm the one, and I've said it, is like, I poured thousands of hours into the original. I really just got hooked on the exotic gear grind. Destiny 2 comes out. I love it. I think from a game perspective, it plays great. Is it
It definitely played great.
Yeah, and for that for
I
your
got it.
2 hours. But does it have everything it needs to have? No. Is it a perfect game? Absolutely not. But it's always about that change. It's about that involvement. It's about playing with your friends and that community. And so I wish I could offer you a resolution. I wish it'd be like, oh, we've got Luke Smith on the line, and we're gonna counsel him directly, but we don't have that kind of power yet.
I'm not looking for a resolution, and it's more than likely being a realistic person that nothing's going to happen. I believe that they've already said what they want to say. In my opinion, and to answer your question, I
Hmm.
I don't believe that. I believe that there's smoke before fire, and this is
Hmm.
the smoke. This has drawn a lot of attention to the fact that there's no support for the customers, regardless of the matter, whether you got banned or you're having crash issues. This isn't the only issue that's happening right now.
Hmm.
And I believe it's like COD. Um, I was a huge Call of Duty fan. I played constantly, but
Hmm.
as it progressed, it got worse, and people started mentioning it more. And the reason why we kept playing it was because there wasn't another option.
Right.
There wasn't something out there that gave you the same feeling you got when you played old school COD.
Right.
But you can't go back to old school. I can't go play Black Ops without running into cheaters. so,
Hmm.
that I think right now, because of their lack of attention to the consumer base, and especially something like that, like I was a potential new customer, and I pay money. Like gosh, you
Yeah.
don't know how much money I've spent in cases and stuff on CS:GO. But
No,
and
I
I'm
know I
talking
don't.
four figures plus. Okay.
Wow.
Um, and the thing is if I enjoy a game, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna dedicate
Mhm.
time. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be a fan of it. And Bungie, I had a blast with a lot of their Halo series. I thoroughly enjoyed them. A couple of them was a little, but ultimately, because a collective, I love the series.
Mhm.
And when my friends were telling me about this Destiny series, I started to get excited about it. I was
Yeah.
super stoked.
So I got a
But
question on that though, like to jump in. Is
oh, go
that
ahead.
are your friends gonna play without you,
Oh,
or are
they have
they?
been. I
Okay.
get
Oh
to
yeah.
sit in the team speak while I'm sitting there investigating all this stuff, listening to them talk about all the raids and stuff they're going to be doing, and like they're not trying to be insensitive, but they're super stoked, and this is something we've been waiting
Well,
for.
hopefully this is something that you can either find out what went wrong, and then let's say again, let's say I don't think you were cheating, but at the end of the day, I
I
have no
appreciate that.
authority on that. Um, but let's say at the end of the day you were, and you're the one, a really good liar. Uh,
I wish.
if nothing else, like it's like okay, why was this banned? And then if then in that case, I think the cost of getting is having to buy another copy of the game. That ends up being what it is. Like, okay, you have to do that. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully there's an investigation and they can find out what went wrong. The good news is they've overturned 4 bans that came from just the beta
Just the
itself.
beta, though.
Well,
They haven't.
right.
But if you notice with their statements, and this was the biggest thing that irritated me the most, their first
Mm-hmm.
statement that they came out with when they were talking about this, they said they're going to drop that whole thing that you read there. Um, then and basically they said, oh well, if you're banned, you're banned for a good reason, and that's it. And it kind of that was to me that was them calling us cheaters
Mm-hmm.
and telling us we're lying. And then right after that, they come out with upon further review, our PC security measures, some bans have been overturned. Now this is beyond the 4 bans that was overturned on the beta. These are other people. And from what I've seen, there's about at least I can't give an accurate number because nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows accurate numbers, only Bungie does, and they've been spotty with it. They're so eager to tell us about those 4 bans for the beta they overturned, but they didn't tell us anything. They just said some bans overturned. And from what I've seen, there's been about basically the people that was causing the most commotion
Mm-hmm.
and Twitter and in the
Well,
forums
you have
are overturned.
Twitch and YouTube people also who have influence and can get their voice out. Now,
Hmm.
that I don't necessarily know if that's always a good thing because let's say I was cheating and then I have a huge audience and it's like guys, I promise, it's like at some point like okay, you're lying and you're cheating and now this is just kind of a cycle within itself. But the hopefully I guess at the end of the day, like hopefully you keep reaching out and making
Oh,
contact.
I'm gonna keep bugging these guys until they either ban me or block me or whatever they do. I mean, they've
It
already
gets
banned me, but
you get well banned from the game and then banned from the
yeah,
forums. It's like
if
at
they
that point you're like I guess it's like you're done probably. Like I was interested in getting in your franchise, and then you prevented me from being a fan.
and in that
Especially
letter,
if you spend that much money on
yeah.
CS:GO, man. Like I'm sure Bungie would you'd probably spend more money in with Bungie anyway.
And in that letter I wrote to that the CEO, I tried to be as respectful as possible with my anger at the
Hmm.
time, but I explained to him that to me, this felt like a schoolyard bully pushing you down, taking your money and telling you to run along.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what it feels like. And I said I would love this to be resolved if this was resolved, and whether it's a refund
Hmm.
or whether it was unbanning me,
Yeah.
um, I would be more than happy to support the company again. But as of right now, where it stands, they're not going to see another dime from me ever. I will check
Right. Right.
every game that they post, even if they're a part of it.
And see like
Activision
no.
and Activision, it's hard to do because they control like all the
Activision
games. But
does so much. So what's your ideal from this situation? Like, would you rather have your money back, or would you rather be able to get back into the game?
I'd rather be able to play. I just want
Yeah.
to play with my friends. That's
Hmm.
all I want. There's nothing malicious in that. There's no need. I'm just so confused. There was even rumors about an emote they were trying to remove that caused that a dev said on Reddit. I couldn't
Hmm.
find it, so I don't want to
Yeah.
say
Well,
100%.
I know what you're
But
talking about.
the
It's
bureaucratic dance.
rumored. Yeah. And so that it's, there's some stuff there. Obviously, I think there's just a lot of moving pieces. This is Bungie's first foray into PC, and so that's why I was really excited to see that it was from Battle.net. But there's no issue of a ban from Battle, so this is Bungie
They
itself.
have nothing to do with this at all. Blizzard, I did talk to Blizzard too, and I asked them for a refund. They said they couldn't do anything. It's on Bungie's end.
Okay.
Some people did get a refund that they're claiming,
Yeah.
but when I contacted them, and this was about hour 4 after I got banned, they said I could try to talk to the supervisor, but they're probably going to tell me the same thing. They can't do anything till the ban's been lifted.
Right. Okay. So that's where we stand. It sucks. Like, I think that's pretty much the takeaway that I get. Absolutely. Again, like I don't, in our short time together, I don't feel like you were cheating, but what I want from a technical, because I'm a dev, I'm an engineer, like the technical side is like, what the heck was on, like, was there something on your PC that just, something in, that on your router, something, was there something in the process and communicating to the server that they just said, no, it's like, that's, but that's just my technical side in me. I'm like, what
absolutely.
is it?
And the thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're fine.
The thing is, and that's another thing. I've taken Geiso shots of my processes, my programs list, everything, because I want to send them to people and be like, is there anything in here that looks suspicious?
Fishy, right?
Because I couldn't tell you what processes mean. I know what programs are, but I couldn't tell you.
The processes are things that run into the background of your system, right? So that's where, like you said, the thing that I always believe when troubleshooting anything, it's you try to remove as many variables as possible. That helps get you back and closest to the most possible set of variables. Like, okay, what are the most options? So being that you've in the past had this software, you've, cheated in, and I don't like the term cheated, you've modded single player games. You modded single player games to have a different experience, etc. And then you weren't in this case, even if you've uninstalled them, did that old software leave? And they do, because like in the registry, things like that still can exist unless you've completely formatted your system. Were those things in the background where was that detected as a part of kind of a registry suite?
How deep does these programs on these things go though? Like,
they can go really deep, dude. Like I could. Let me just. Well, again, like it's like you might not have anything running, but if they did like a registry scan, I don't know. Like I can only speculate because I'm not Bungie technical support and I didn't build it. But if they did a registry scan on your system, would they find, hey, this is something that looks fishy, and then et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. Like before did you ever uninstall that software that you used for the single player games?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever reformatted like your system like between that time uninstalling in Destiny 2?
I have no clue how to do that.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not a very computer savvy person. Like this is not something that I could just, like I said, it took me probably about 12 hours to learn how to put a mod on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, you were talking about that. I was like, you said you were that really technical, and you're sitting here like getting into mods. I'm like, I don't know. Have I caught this guy in a lie?
I had to find like stuff that was very straightforward. Like Minecraft, we don't even want to talk about how long that took. That was my first ever experience with trying to mod anything, and I'm a transparent person. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not lying when I say I never cheated in a multiplayer type of situation. In a private game for myself, I have modded. I'm not lying on that.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like when I'm saying this in the post and Twitter and stuff like that, I'm not a cheater. I've never cheated. That's what I'm referring to. I've never cheated in COD. I've never cheated in CS:GO. I've never cheated in Overwatch. Anything that would affect other people.
Well, especially because if you had, I would think that from a Blizzard perspective, most of those
their anti-cheat's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, that's where I was like, well, this was like, is the ban on, like, is it like when you go in and, is it saying, hey, you're banned? We've detected some stuff. I've seen, and I had an issue where I got banned from WoW before, and because I had server transferred, and then I logged in, and then I did log in for a month, and then they said I was, anyway, it looks suspicious, right? And so I was like, I got it overturned. It was not a problem. I was just like, at that point, I'm, just not the biggest WoW fan.
I've never even had anything like that happen. This is the first time I've ever been banned.
Right. Okay. So,
and I know a cheater can sit there. And I've heard all the arguments in my head. A cheater can say, "Oh, well, this is the first time I've been banned." It doesn't mean that
the first time I was caught.
Cheated. Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
And that's the only thing that sucks about it, and that's one of the fun things about the PC community, though, is learning different things about games and how they work, and different things how you can change a game in the sense of visuals and stuff. Like with Minecraft, you could make a block pixel game look amazing. And same with Gary's mod. The whole game is modding.
Well, yeah, Minecraft is modding and too. On that note, I'm gonna bring it back in because it said from a focus. So like your ideal situation is that you get back into the game. Otherwise, some kind of refund if they're not gonna let you back in the game. Because at that point, I guess you could just buy another copy of the game and get back in under a new account. But on that note, though, I'd like to, I guess, turn it over to the community who's watching this video right now. Yeah. Let me know, guys, what do you think? Do you believe Adam on his story? Sound off in the comments below. Do you think he cheated? Do you think there's something fishy going on? Is there something wrong over at Bungie's end? Or is this something that, somebody who's a self-professed, non-real technical person might have made a legitimate mistake? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And then if for some reason, like especially if you think that he's innocent, and you know how to maybe reach and kind of help out with those those avenues for communication to see if this can either be expedited so he can join his friends and or not, whatnot, maybe reach out. I'm sure, Adam, you can kind of moderate the comments if you, when this video goes live, you can kind of see and then hopefully be able to get in contact with the right people. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't look good. Honestly, like I don't think this looks good for Bungie. I don't think this is press that they want or need. I think that the game itself is great, and despite that, it's not perfect and that's why I love games like this that constantly get updated and evolved and changed, and new things get added. That's always exciting for me. But outside of that, like, I don't think this is good. I don't think this is what we want. Now, if you were legitimately cheating, man, these guys are on top of it. That's the other side of the story. Like, okay, well, hey guys, we caught this guy and like within 2 hours, like because from a competitive, because I like competitive games. So from a competitive perspective, if someone's cheating and it's like hurting me, like that hurts the community more. And so we don't want to sit here and loosen the reins to the point where it's like, yeah, unless you're cheating, you really don't want to go in, because basically, if you remember baseball, when the big issue was everybody was on drugs. It was a big thing. It was that literally. And so the question is that did he let the people in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, the hitters were taking steroids, but so were the pitchers, because they had to. Like, all of a sudden it became this secret of what you had to. So in that case, that's what we don't want with online games. We don't want to get to the point where you have to cheat just to compete, and we don't want the situation where it's so tight that if you you trip over your shoelace and that's a flag and you're done.
And I can't say that there was no cheaters in this. I can't say that. I can't make a blanket statement.
Right. You can't speak for the story. You can't speak for the other 399 people out there.
And that's if those numbers are correct. I honestly think there's more, but that's my personal opinion from looking around and going to multiple sites. That's you're talking almost conspiracy.
You do have you can get this, but you can also get into the add-ons where people are like, oh, this is drama. They caught me too, and I didn't do whatever. It's like that is something that it's a human nature thing. You can have your trolls, you have the internet, you have people white knighting, coming out in defense of.
Want to jump on the cheaters wanting to jump in on your story, acting like it's the same exact thing. I've seen it go through.
Yeah, that was exactly me. And so there's always a risk there. It's not a good situation, but honestly, it's something that hopefully will get rectified for you. What I'd ask though is that if it does, would you let me know? And we can then maybe have a second conversation, kind of follow up. And if it doesn't, then we'll just say sucks.
It sucks. I'll move on to another game eventually, whenever new good one comes out, like Anthem. That's the next one we're looking forward to.
Looks amazing.
I'm
Crossing
actually gonna
fingers.
have to buy a PlayStation again for it.
Oh yeah, buy those.
Unfortunately.
Spend that money, man. Spend that money. Anyway, Adam, thanks for joining me on this special edition interview with. I was thinking, like, do I call it the Damned? Interview with the Damned. But then I was like, yeah,
Adam the Damned.
But so it's like, yeah, you've been banned. So that's how it is. Thanks everybody for hanging out and watching this video. Yeah, share your thoughts and let's have that conversation. And hopefully this is something that will be resolved if it should be resolved. But Adam, again, thank you for your service in the military. Thank you for joining me on the Semi podcast. And do you have any questions for me before we wrap up?
No, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to tell my story in a way that isn't just spamming on. I mean,
I have 140 characters. Help somebody!
Oh my gosh, I think it's a lot easier to get my story out this way. I'm not saying I'm 100% innocent. I don't think any PC gamer really is. I think everybody's played some type of game, but I in this case I am. I didn't do anything, and I appreciate you allowing me to let that out and tell people. Because there are people like me that are going through this. There are people that like me that was feeling this way that did happen to get switched over back onto it, and it's just a big relief.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Yeah, if you want more content like this as well, like if you like these kind of interviews, let me know. We can see if what we can make happen and have some fun here at Work to Game. But for Work to Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this interview. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Brian, do you think there's anywhere they could catch us in the meantime?
Right now, Chris, we're probably on Twitch. If it's probably in the afternoon, it could be you. Sometimes you see my face. And we also found this random guy, named Kevin on the street somewhere.
I accidentally left my password written on the side of my car.
Oh man, that was really a big mistake. But guys, we really appreciate it if you guys hit the link in the description below for our Twitch page. We'd love to see you over there. And you can even subscribe to us over on Twitch.
If you're Amazon Prime, that could even be free.
Oh my gosh, what a deal.
Well, cool. Well, thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.